My name is Rupa. This is Rupa's radio show. ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਥ ਹੁੰਦਾ every single Sunday 5 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 7 ਵਜੇ ਤੱਕ, bringing you the very best in South Asian entertainment news and music. And of course, I love to bring you some good old community interviews as well. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ I love to share stories of the local community and businesses and groups that are doing really great stuff for us all. And today I am so happy to announce that I have got Tots United in the studio with me today. A very big welcome to Yousif. Yousif, welcome to Awaz FM.
Hey Rupa, good evening. Great to be here. Thanks for having me in the studio.
Not at all. I'm so pleased that you are here and I'm so glad to have you. And we are expecting your co-founder Ajay to join us very shortly. Unfortunately, Ajay has been stuck in a little bit of traffic. Something about a big football game or something. Some team's playing. Who knows what it is. But he'll be with us very shortly. But Yousif, I'm so glad to have you here because we have got some brilliant things to talk about today. So Tots United, for anyone that doesn't know what that is, how would you describe what Tots United is? What do you do?
Yeah, great question to start us off. So, Tots United is a multi-award winning premier provider of fun, engaging and inclusive sports classes specially designed for toddlers and young children from 18 months up to 8 years old. And we have two brilliant sport programmes currently, Tots United Football and Tots United Gymnastics, and we've had phenomenal growth since we started our club, and we're now operating across 20 plus locations across the west of Scotland.
Wow, I mean there's a lot in that, so I'm going to break it down a little bit. First things first, 18 months, right? So you've got toddlers from 18 months there right the way up. And what is so important about getting children in at that age, so young? Why so young?
Well, it's about building good, healthy habits early on, and I suppose high and like on the agenda is to provide them with a platform where they can learn and develop skills, and then we help to nurture their learning and development, and then ultimately support their potential. So I suppose it's about getting them off to the best possible start in life.
Brilliant. And what is it that makes Tots United different from other kids' sports classes? And the reason I ask that is because I've got two boys. They're much, much older now. But when they were younger, I had them in a variety of different classes. You know, when they're younger, you get them to try everything. They did a bit of football, they did a bit of taekwondo, they did a bit of this, a bit of that. What is it that makes Tots United a little bit different?
So there's a combination of things that make Tots United both unique and special. At the heart of the club is myself and my business partner Ajay. We're the founders of Tots United, and we played pro youth football, so we're sports people. Football and sport, it was like our first love, our passion, and then we went on to pursue our own careers after that. So I suppose there's the passion for sport, for football, for getting kids active, so that's fundamental and that's there. But then in addition to that, with Tots United, it's our ethos and philosophy, our core values of care and love, which are actually acronyms for the values that we inspire in children. So all of that is built into Tots United, and it makes it pretty unique and special.
Brilliant, thank you. And you just mentioned there the values, care and love, and I'm going to welcome Ajay in a little minute. He's now able to join us, but just before we go to Ajay, why was it important for you that this wasn't just about sport but it was about character and confidence? Because you've talked about that a little bit already in terms of, you know, getting young kids in. So why was that so important to you rather than just like we just want them to play football or we just want to do gymnastics?
Well, that's it. It goes back to my earlier point that it's about giving them the platform to have the best possible start in life and nurturing certain qualities and their skills and the values as well. It's inspiring them with certain values. So care and love, that actually stands for confidence, achievement, respect, enjoyment, learning, optimism, vitality, empowerment, and all these values come through at every Tots United class. It's built into the curriculum, so that's what makes it kind of different.
I love that.
Special.
I'm going to get the acronym from you a little bit later. I'm going to write that and just apply that in general life. Ajay, welcome to the studio. I know you've had a little bit of a stressful situation to get here, but you are here now, and you've worked in children's sport and coaching for over 15 years. So what did you feel that was missing that helped you create something like Tots United?
Yeah, sure. So for me, it was like I wanted a programme for my child. So my son is now 6. So from about 18 months, I was looking for kind of local programmes and things, and there was nothing. There was nothing for me to go locally. And when I did go to a class, it was a bit far away, and it was a bit flat. It wasn't what I was expecting and wanting a class to be. So for me, it was really, I want something closer. I want Tots United being in every community. I want children to be inspired and to start as early as possible, and we've been able to do that now.
Brilliant. And you talked there about it being in every community.
Yes.
And earlier Yousif was mentioning, I think you've got like 20 different places that it's happening. So in terms of, having it in every community, do you mean just like geographically you want it, or, have you thought a little bit further? Because obviously we're on Awaz FM here. It's a big South Asian community that listens to this station. What were your thoughts about the community and how we get as many children as possible involved?
Well, for us, it's that we want Tots United, because it's got such a massive impact. It's much more about sport, as Yousif has said. It's about the life skills that children learn. So we want every child to experience that. Whether it's across west of Scotland, 20 plus locations we're in, also and beyond. Down in England, we've been quite lucky and fortunate that we've done some international kind of trade missions with Tots United, and it's been a keen interest. And obviously, just last year, the two of us was an exceptional year that we can touch on as well in terms of what we're able to achieve abroad. But back to the point, we want Tots United everywhere, every community, because I think it's so important for children. You get them active from an early age, it'll stay with them later on. And I saw that certainly from a secondary school perspective, where sometimes it's a battle. When I was a PE teacher, like some kids, they don't want to be there, and that could have been from the experiences that they may not have had. But with Tots United, that's something we can start as early as possible.
Brilliant. And in terms of, you must have children that come along very regularly. So what changes do you see in the children that do come along regularly? You might have children who are a little bit shy, or they're lacking in confidence. Like how does that work?
Yeah, I mean that happens quite a lot, because obviously because we start so young, at 18 months. But like I said, because of our values at Tots United, care and love, it's much more than just the football. It's about the confidence, resilience, teamwork that they learn. So we've had occasions, yes, where children come in, they're hanging on to they're hanging on to mum or gran. It always seems to be the ladies. They will hang on to mum or gran at the first session, and we're like, look, just let the coaches take care of the class. Look, let them join in. And we've seen a complete 360 where the children were really shy at the start, but then now they're part of our football teams, they're part of our programmes, they bought the kit, they absolutely love it, and the parents say, look, what a change this has had in my child's life, his mental being, his well-being, and it's helping him in other aspects for school and everything else. It's just been brilliant, and it does, like I said at the start, where children are a bit reluctant, but we've seen with the magic of Tots United that it's a complete 360. They absolutely love it, they love being there, they want to be part of the classes. We've seen kids now from 18 months now in our football teams, they're now saying to us, look, we want this further, we want this beyond 8 years old that we're looking at, we want this for 9 to 12, 12 to 16. Our kids want to stay here for life.
That's brilliant, and hopefully that will happen, because I think when I spoke to you, that was exactly what I'd said to you. My children are older, and I was like, I would have loved it if they'd had something like that when they were a bit younger, and obviously they're kind of past the 8-year-old stage, they're certainly at the other end, but absolutely brilliant to think that you can grow to that aspect. Yousif, you did mention that you've obviously got the 20 locations and you've grown kind of really quite quickly. What do you think has been the reason for that growth? Like, what do you think's driven that? Because it's quite a lot in quite a short space of time.
Absolutely, it's been phenomenal growth, and we've grown rapidly in a short space of time, and I think there's various factors that have contributed to that growth and expansion. Fundamentally, it's me and Ajay, we're relentless. We're relentless in our pursuit of excellence, but also in terms of what Tots United offers and brings to the table, and we want every child to be able to attend a Tots United class, and that's why we rolled it out across communities, in the heart of communities, and it's been so well received. The feedback, the impact, it's been stellar, and although it's been rapid, phenomenal growth in a short space of time, it's been also very organic, and that continues. We're continually growing and expanding because of, I suppose, what we're looking to do and achieve with it, in terms of widening access to sport and all that side of things, but also I think the demand as well. People just love what Tots United is, what it stands for, and I think that has also contributed to its growth as well.
And Ajay, in terms of, obviously we're talking about expansion, and sometimes when things get a bit bigger and they get a little bit kind of more spread out, the original core values, sometimes they can get a little bit lost, or the kind of original what made it so special can become a little bit diluted. How are you making sure that doesn't happen with Tots United.
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, like you said, we're relentless. Even in terms of like all the coaches we've got, we want the best coaches ever for all of our classes, and all the coaches we've got are outstanding. And I think by our training, you know, our operations that we run, we do class audits. So every single class we try and go along to. I've actually spoken to every single parent on the book. Sometimes me and Yousif will laugh. I finish the day with a call, I start the day with a call, and we speak to everyone. So I think getting that feedback is so important, and we're all about the children. We want children active, moving. That's why it's been so well received, because it's a fun, pressure-free environment. Let children have fun, don't put expectations on them, and let them flourish, and that's exactly what we've been able to do with Tots United.
Brilliant, I love that. And you know, you've kind of hinted at the kind of national and even international stuff that you've been doing. So what's the bigger mission beyond sort of Tots United? What's happening? Can you tell us what's happening going forward, unless it's a big secret? Or
well, it's a work in progress, and
Okay.
certainly we made some significant strides last year in particular towards laying the foundation for growth and expansion on an international scale. So while we continue to grow regionally and nationally, we're also looking ahead at international growth. And last year, for example, we took Tots United to 4 major international markets across 3 continents as 2 dads in one single year, and that was really quite special.
Wow, that is brilliant. That is absolutely phenomenal. In terms of people who are listening, and obviously we've got football and gymnastics right now, is there a plan to expand that into more sports, further sports, or are you just concentrating on football and gymnastics at the moment?
Well, at the moment it's football and gymnastics. However, with the demand and what parents want, we would probably look into multi-sports. For us, we want to be an avenue, a place where everyone has access to a Tots United class, whether it be football, gymnastics, multi-sports. That's what we want in every community. Give children as many options as possible, as young as possible, as early on, and then later on they can pick and choose.
Brilliant. And in terms of if someone wants to sign up to be a part of Tots United, how would they do that?
It's really simple. So we've got a website which has a lot of information about the club, and it also has a link to our booking page, and it's just a simple case of clicking through to the booking page, and it takes about a couple of minutes to book on and enrol your child, and then look forward to bringing them along to their first class.
Brilliant. And I've only got a couple of minutes left, so I just want to ask you what, and either one of you can take this, what is the most unexpected thing a toddler has ever done in one of your classes? Because having been, well, I'm still the mum of 2 boys, but having been the mum of 2 very small boys, they've done a lot of things in their life. So yes, there must be some funny stories.
Yeah, I'll come in. I'm obviously you can listen, there's been so many. I think that probably right at the start, there was one point where a couple of toddlers had just started cuddling me.
Oh.
Like, that wasn't part of the session plan. They started cuddling me, holding on to me. Before you know it, there's about 15-20 children just cuddling and holding on to me, and I'm like, right, okay. And that was just a nice kind of surreal moment, and that's why we do what we do. You know, seeing those kids really happy at Tots United, smiling and enjoying it. And it's not just the kids, we see the parents, adults, everybody, you know. And with our classes, it's not just boys, girls, it's kids with additional support needs. We want everybody to achieve, you know, to do that. But back to your point, that was probably one of the funniest things, just kids holding on to me, and they're holding for about 5 to 10 minutes. They wouldn't, and I'm like, and
it's funny because you learn to kind of walk around with like children just on you. Like, I've been in that. I used to teach Punjabi to young children, and there was a lot of that. They would just come, and just all of a sudden they would come and hug you. And it's very, I think that relationship when you're teaching young children it's a really special one. It's a very privileged position to be in. I always think, and a couple of kids did call me mum at some point. So I think that just happens as well. You know, they just kind of you're in that space. So it's really, really nice. In terms of, I guess the last question I'd want to ask is, in terms of the South Asian community, do you see that whether is it a big enough is there as much participation from the South Asian community as you would have hoped, or is that something that you think that is something to be looked at going forward?
No, I think there is. I mean, in terms of our classes, like I said, we've now rolled out football teams. We're the most diverse football team that play in the whole league in terms of upper culture, all the different demographics that come in, which is great, but there's always scope for more. We would like more, and I think obviously at the hem of it, seeing 2 Asians, you know, Muslim, Sikh, we come together, we're a bit of role models for the Asian community, but we would want the message out there. because we would want even more. You know, like I go to the Godwag, I was there today this morning with the kids. I don't know if everyone knows I do Tots United.
I didn't know you did it until we chatted that day.
But I would like people to know, look, this is what we do, this is what we do in the communities, is to, you know, up and when they're doing it, let's try and get the kids active and we'll take care of you guys.
We were actually quite surprised to see this actually, in terms of the leagues that we've got for our TU superstars. That's for kids aged between 5 to 8, and when we set up those football teams and they're playing in the structured leagues at the weekend, it's noticeable, it's palpable. You see it immediately that Tots United, the TU superstars, they're the most diverse team in the league. I think it helps the fact that both Ajay and myself are ethnicities. That helps bring South Asians to become part of it. So it's a great platform, that, because otherwise we don't see them.
But I think that is a very important thing, because there's that whole thing, you know, you can't be what you can't see. And so if you've got young children who are coming and they're looking at both of you and they're thinking, oh, wait a minute here, you know, they're doing this, they're coaching and they're leading and they're bringing this up, like, I want to do that. So I mean, it's absolutely commendable, the work that you're doing. I think the success that you've had so far is astonishing and really, really brilliant, and I wish you lots more success, and I'll look forward to kind of following you and seeing how you get on over the next couple of years as well. So it's an open invite to come back whenever you want, and I do think that it's a really special thing that Tots United have. Is there any last minute message that you want to send out to the Awaz FM listeners who are listening before we sign off?
Listen, just get involved, get your children active. You know, from working with kids all my days, it's so important to start as early as possible, and let's get them involved in a Tots United class near you. Let's go!
Brilliant.
Tots United.
I love that. Let's go Tots United. Thank you so much, Ajay and Yousif, for coming into the Awaz FM studios. That's Ajay and Yousif from Tots United. I will share their information on the Instagram page, so make sure you do give them a follow, and of course you can contact them as they have said.